conception of the superego is perhaps missing out somewhat on a more humanistic component.
As long as you adhere to the basic motivational concept of Freud's psychoanalysis, you are restricted, your view, your horizon of research is restricted to something that you may as well find in any animal. In former times, when the traditions, for instance, the traditional values as laid down in the Ten Commandments were still universally valid. There was, you could follow, yes, at that moment you, as it were, had the built-in command, you should not do that, you should not do this, you should, on the contrary, you should behave that way or another. They are no longer the Ten Commandments sufficient. He has to send out, to smell out the 10,000 commandments, the 10,000 demands that emerge from each life situation confronting him, and to has to respond. And this means being responsible, responding to the demands of the hour, of a situation, responding to it along the lines of what your conscience, not just your superego, demands of you. In the concentration camps, there were opportunities to steal, and I stole briquettes of coal and so forth to heat the barracks. So it was even imperative to steal. It was highly meaningful to steal. It was highly meaningful to give false testimony. And there's even a case in which I could show that, now forget about this, I don't wish to add 10 anti-command. Anyway, what I want to say is the ultimate question whether something is meaningful or not. Good is what promotes the possibility of any other being to act meaningfully, to carry out its or his or her meaning.
I notice in your writing, you very rarely refer to Jung, C.G. Jung. And obviously you worked very closely with Adler, and you had contact with Freud. Did you ever actually meet Jung?
Meet him?
Yes.
No, I was
never
not the pleasure nor the honor to meet him.
Okay. As you know, Jung originally wanted to be an archaeologist, and I believe that he reflects his archaeological interest in the way he goes further even than Freud in talking about phylogenetic inheritance that can influence the individual, namely through the collective unconscious. Now, as you know, in this collective unconscious, he talks about archetypes, certain prevailing symbols that emerge over and over again, like the mother, the father, God, so on and so forth.
I would go even farther than Jung did, in the assumption that there is a biological causation. If you follow down to the roots of our valuing processes, or even of our selection of meanings to fulfill, then you may well be justified in assuming that there must be a biological heritage from the billions of years on, a heritage that does not command us to select this way or proceed in another direction, but that is identical with ourselves. We are the values we accept in a way, in a certain depth that reaches down to the biological foundation of the human being.